Hello, this is the Meta Man telling you exactly what the three rules are to make sure your portfolio of crypto coins grows and grows and grows. Grows so the little guy in the thumb can be the gigantic guy. Yes, and let me tell you a little secret right now. It doesn't matter which coins you choose. It doesn't matter. The secret to success in crypto is not choosing the right coins. Why? Because you have to be able to tell the future if you're going to choose the right coins, and you can't tell the future. Let me give you a little explanation. If you think back 15 years ago to the cell phone industry, there were only two manufacturers of cell phones. One was Nokia for the lower price cell phones, and the other was BlackBerry for the higher price cell phones. And the two of them had 90% of the market, 90% of the market. Where are they now? They're gone. They're completely gone. There's no Nokia. There's no BlackBerry. They're gone. And a newcomer that didn't even exist for 10 years into the cell phone industry, Apple with iPhone, dominates the entire industry. So you can't choose the right coin all the time. You just can't. So what you have to do is follow the rules. There's three of them. There's just three rules. When you follow those rules, you will do well. Now, remember, this is education and information only, entertainment and information only. You can listen to me, you can get good ideas from me, but you have to use your own decision-making in order to make investment decisions. I'm going to tell you the three rules, and you will be very wise and be a good investor based on these rules. So, rule number one is that the fundamentals and the technicals have to match. The fundamentals and the technicals have to match. What does that mean? Well, let's take Sandbox. Sandbox is a great coin. It has land, and it sold out its land in no time. Snoop Dogg bought an expensive piece of land and put up a really expensive mansion on it. Someone paid multi-million dollars just to have the virtual land beside Snoop Dogg's virtual land. And the NFTs are selling and the avatars are selling. It's really an exciting space, an exciting coin in the metaverse. However, if you look at its graph, that's the fundamental analysis. But when you look at the graph, that's the technical analysis, you can see not necessarily a good time to buy. Let's look right now. Now you can see this is Sandbox. It dribbled around doing not much of anything. And then suddenly it shot up and up and up and up from roughly $1 to $8. And now it has fallen down to, looks like it's around $5. Now, why is this graphically the wrong time to enter? Because you can see there's a little tiny bit of support around $4, and there's a little tiny bit of support around $2. So sand could crash to $4 or to $2, or it could go up. You don't have any idea. The graph gives you no idea exactly what it's going to do. And so even though I love Sandbox, and even though I own a lot of Sandbox, I will not buy it now. And by the way, if you want to learn more about Sandbox, I've got an entire playlist on Sandbox because I love it so much. So let me give you another example of a coin that has a great fundamental and a great entry point. And that is D-Travel, or TRVL. And D-Travel is really simply explained, it is a decentralized version of Airbnb. It's a decentralized version of Airbnb. Now, Airbnb really works well. We all know that. And D-Travel is a coin, fairly new and very low in the ranking, that is attempting to be a decentralized Airbnb. Now, so that's the fundamentals, and they look really healthy. Now let's look at the technical analysis, which is the graph. And you can see it started its life somewhere around 50 cents, and it's gone up to as high as 150, but now it's like the lowest it has ever been. It's dribbling around really, really low with low volumes, no interest. It seems that it's unlikely that it's going to fall because it's had support for months, somewhere around the 50-cent range, 50 cents to 75 cents. It seems steady in that range. And so if you buy it now at just under 50 cents, it looks like the only way it can go is up. Now, I can't tell the future. This is education and entertainment. I'm not giving you financial investment advice, but as far as technical analysis go, That is the traditional best practices. So what is rule number one? Rule number one is that the fundamentals and the technicals have to be in concert. They have to be in sync. They have to both be saying yes, in your opinion. What is number two? Number two is you place open orders below the spot price. So the spot price for D travel is, let's say, 45 cents right now. Then an open order is an order that just stays open. If you put your order in at the market, that means whatever is the lowest price that a seller of D travel or any other coin wishes to sell it at, that's what you get. So a market order is filled instantly at whatever the lowest seller is willing to let his coin go for. But I never do that. I'm cheeky, because if you look at coins, you can see that there's a great deal of variability, a great deal of volatility, a great deal of price movement. We are looking at a big expanse from November all the way to December. And we can see that it goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Even on the right-hand side of the screen, where it's a little less volatile, it still moves up and down. And so if I wanted to buy this, and let's say the actual spot price was 45 cents, I would not put in a market order. I would put in an order at maybe 40 cents. And you might say 40 cents, 45 cents, what's the big difference? Well, there's a huge difference. If you always buy coins at 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30% less than the spot price, your profit will be much higher and your losses will be much lower, no matter what coins you choose. This is really, really important. And by the way, there's some coins that might be at 20 cents that I put a bid in at 10 cents. Yes, 50% lower, because the volatility is so high. When I look at the graphs, I see it jumps up and down so much that I'm willing, if it's at 20 cents, to wait till it drops down to 10 cents. Now, the negative is you may not get the fill. But let's say it drops from 20 cents to 11 cents and then goes back up to the moon. I didn't get it. But let me tell you the good news. It's not as if there's only one coin in the whole metaverse. It's not as if there's only one coin and that if you miss it, you're in trouble. Don't ever fall into FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't ever fall into FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't do that. By the way, if you want to know more about FOMO, just click on that link. I've got a really funny video on FOMO, fear of missing out. So if you don't get a fill, let's say you put in a cheeky order at 10 cents when the coin is at 20 cents, but I would only do it that lower if there was huge volatility, huge volatility. And then I sometimes get it, like if Bitcoin dumps, all the altcoins dump even further. And so I might get a fill. I wake up in the morning, I say, oh my gosh, I put in an order at 10 cents a month and a half ago. It was sitting at 20 cents. And because Bitcoin dumped, I just got a fill overnight. Yay, yay, yay. And so if, let's say that coin eventually goes back up to $1, if I'd bought it at 20 cents, that would be a 5X. But if I get it at 10 cents, it's a 10X. So it's not just a little bit of a difference. 10 cents, 20 cents, you might think not much of a big difference, but it is a huge difference, a very, very big difference. So rule number one is the fundamentals and the technicals have to match. Rule number two is you never put in an order to buy at the market. You always put in an order under the market or way under the market, which is called a cheeky bid, a cheeky order. And rule number three, you know what? Before I tell you rule number three, I want you to know that you are enjoying this. You enjoyed number one and you enjoyed number two, and you learned a lot from rule number one and rule number two. Then reciprocate, please, by hitting that subscribe button. When you hit that subscribe button, Google and YouTube said, wow, this is a really good video and a really good channel. And they tell lots of other people about it. So I'm helping you a lot. Please help me. Also, you can like this video and you can also share it with friends. So number three is never sell. Never sell. Why? Well, let me show you a graph of theta. Now I'm just showing you this. I've just chosen it randomly. There's 5,000 coins, but I own Theta. I own all the coins that I talked about in this video. Here is Theta. And let's say right down near the bottom, you owned it, let's say in July of the year 2020, and it was sitting at roughly 10 cents. And then you wake up one morning, it's at 20 cents. You say, oh my gosh, it's doubled. Maybe I should take some profit. And then before you can decide, it's tripled. So let's say you invested $5,000. It's now $15,000. You're over the moon. You can't even think of what you're going to buy with your $10,000 profit. And so you decide, I'm going to sell half. I'm going to take some profit. The instant you do that, you miss the rise. It went 300x. Theta went 300x in a period of a couple months. You would have missed 300x. If you had $5,000 into it, 5,000 times 300, I can't even figure it out. 5,000 times 300, let me figure that out. I just figured it out. $5,000 times 300x is $1.5 million. But if you didn't have a rule, never sell, you would have sold half of it or a quarter of it when it doubled. You would have sold another quarter of it or half of it when it went up 4x, 5x, that's amazing. Wow, let's celebrate, let's have a party. And then you would have missed 300x. Now you might say, oh, but Raymond, look, it dropped. Yes, it dropped. It dropped to maybe less than half. Okay, so that's 150x. You see, here's the thing about coins. The whole coin industry is brand new. And if you look at a company like Alibaba, that's the Chinese version of Amazon. Alibaba didn't make money for 15 years. Let's talk about Tesla. Tesla didn't make any money for 10 years. You see, companies need to mature. Companies need to have time to grow. Companies need to have time to bring in amazing employees and to make strategic alliances. They need time. And so whether Theta is at 10 cents or $16 or $5 hardly matters, because if Theta is going to be a strong performer, if Theta is going to be one of the coin projects that survives, then in 1 or 2 or 3 years, it'll be at $100 or $500. So who cares what it is right at the beginning? So my rule is I won't buy unless the fundamentals and the technicals match. Number 2, I won't buy at the market. I always put in orders underneath the market because there's so much volatility. I'll probably get a fill if it's under the market. And if there's a huge volatility, I put in my order, a cheeky order way under the market. And number 3, I never sell. I'm sorry, I don't sell. I am a buyer. I am not a seller. And that's my secrets. Follow me, and no, don't follow me blindly, but listen to what I say, and then make your own decision. Yes. And please subscribe, please subscribe. And by the way, I've talked about Render. Render is like one of the coins I totally love. And you can learn more about Render if you go there. Render is just a really important coin that I think has a brilliant future. And you may want to learn about it so that you understand the fundamentals. And then you can check out the graph and decide for yourself if you want to buy it. But if you do what I say, I think your fortune is going to be like that bull going straight up. Yes, sir. Thank you for listening to that entire video. Click right here to learn about Render, the most incredible coin in the metaverse. Click right there where it says Meta in order to subscribe, and click right there to play my previous video. Thank you.